Dungeon Derby is a game by Rabbiteer LLC in which you bet on your favorite mythical champion to win a race and gain money and treasure as a result. Each race can be affected by a number of spells, traps, and enchantments so that you can give your favorite champion the best chance of winning. Dungeon Derby is a simple game that is easy to get the hang of and satisfying to beat your friends at. So let's get started.
Now before you start taking your friends' money, there are a couple things you need to do first. Make sure to put the treasure cards, which look like these, quest cards, shown here, and the encounter tokens, sorted into their respective classes, onto their spots on the game board as shown. Each player will then choose a champion, and one player will be selected to be the bookie. Basically, this player is in charge of handing out the money at the end of each round. So pick somebody you trust. Each player starts off with $250, divided up between 3 $50 chips and one $100 chip. We're almost ready to start. Assuming there are 5 to 6 players, each player draws 3 treasure cards to start out with. The number of cards for a different number of players is shown here as well. Now, shuffle the purse cards, as shown here, and place the desired number of cards face down on the board. This determines how many total races you are going to be betting on. This is entirely up to you and determines how long the game goes on. For this example, we are going to do 7 races, so we'll lay down 7 cards. Now, we've arrived at the action phase. The next 6 phases will be repeated until all the races have been completed. If you ever need a reminder about which phase you are currently on, your player card has them all listed out. In the draw quest phase, each player replenishes their hand with the required amount of treasure cards. If any player has under $250, they may draw a quest card and complete the quest given in order to gain money. A player may repeat this process until they have $250 or over. This phase will likely only be applicable after the first race is over. In the lineup phase, turn over your first race purse card. Here you'll see the champion lineup order, as well as the winning odds, and any special modifiers to the race. Line up the champions, and place the purse amounts on the game board. Now we're at the armor encounter phase. Here we will lay down any of your treasure cards that are marked as either armor or encounter. Place armor cards directly behind the champion's starting position on the marked spot. These cards are used to impact the champion's movement throughout the race, either positively or negatively. Encounter cards are played by discarding the card and then placing that card's tokens onto the raceway. These tokens can be used in any lane, however, no more than 2 tokens may be played in the same lane. These tokens are activated only when a champion lands on that space that the token currently resides on. These cards are laid down by everybody on a freestyle basis. There is no need to take turns here. During the betting phase, no more armor or encounter cards may be played. It's time to bet on the champion you think has the best chance at winning the race. This champion does not have to be your own. Place the token of the champion you are betting on down on your betting board. Indecisive? Don't worry, you can bet on more than one champion. But be aware that you only receive money if one of your bets plays first in the race. Make sure to keep your bet secret. Once all bets are final, we move on to the main event, the racing phase. It's now time to reveal the armor cards and see the effects that they have on each of the champions. After this, the Dungeon Master rolls the dice to begin the race. Note that only the Dungeon Master rolls the dice until the race is completed. This is where the rest of the treasure cards come in. Spells can be used to influence the race and give your champion an edge. After each roll, spells are played on a freestyle basis, if the player desires. There are many things spell cards can do, such as change the roll of the dice or movement of the champions. Note that spell cards always trump armor cards. While spell cards are being played, the card that hits the table first is played first. If a champion lands directly on an encounter token, they must do what the token directs. And then the token is removed from the raceway and placed back on the outside of the board. When a champion crosses the finish line and no spells revert the movement, the race is over. Now it's time to get your money. During the payout phase, you receive a purse prize if your champion is in the top 3 when the race ends. Champion earnings that may not be controlled by a player go back to the bookie. At this time, each player's bet is revealed and the payout is given. Losing bets go straight to the bookie, while any bets that were placed on the winning champion receives the payout previously designated by the purse card. Once everybody gets, or loses, their money, the Dungeon Master token is passed clockwise, and all champions and armor cards are cleared from the game board. However, all encounter tokens that were not landed on and activated remain on the game board. And that's it. Now you repeat the phases, starting at the draw quest phase and continuing on. If any player has under $250, make sure they draw quest cards until their funds are replenished. After the final champion is crowned victorious, each player counts the total amount of money they gained. The player with the greatest amount of wealth is the winner and ultimate master of the dungeon.